you start playing Sonic the Hedgehog, everything else seems a little bit slow.
While we're waiting, I'd just like to point out that you can now get the Sega Megadrive, Master System or Game Gear with Sonic included.
Don't worry, I'll catch him.
And remember, you can now get Sonic with your Sega.
Hey guys, and welcome to the review of the Mystery Black Case. So, what is in this mighty black case, you ask? Well, one of the greatest things ever created. The Sega Megadrive. Released in 1990, PAL region, anyway, the mighty Sega Megadrive. This is a fantastic video games console, packed in with one of the greatest video games ever made. Sonic the Hedgehog. Pop that back in there. You sit in there nicely, Sonic. Thank you for coming out. It is a 16-bit video arcade system. It's not really, it's a home video game console. I said that completely wrong. Which was developed and sold by one of the greatest companies ever, Sega. Oh, beautiful. It was known as the Genesis in America, and Megadrive pretty much everywhere else. It is the successor to the mighty Sega Master System also, which, may I add, is another fantastic games console that you should definitely own if you like Sega. Along with the Saturn, and the Mark I, and the Dreamcast. Basically, if it has Sega on it, I highly recommend that you own it. Unless it's one of those really horrible Sega at-games consoles, then I don't recommend that you get it, because it's got a really bad soundboard. Sega first released this beast in Japan in 1988, followed by the North American debut under the Genesis title in 89, and then in 1990 was distributed as the Megadrive in Europe. Now, in Japan, we all know it did not fare very well, which kind of makes me sad, if I'm honest, because obviously it had Nintendo Super Famicom. Although it did achieve considerable success in America, Brazil, Europe, especially in England. I know that for a fact because near enough everyone I knew had this. The popularity of the Genesis / Megadrive, it was exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog series, several sports game franchises, and a few other titles like Earthworm Jim, we have Echo the Dolphin. Now, we all know about the huge console war between this and the Super Nintendo, and if I'm honest, I was always team Megadrive. Although a lot of my friends did own Super Nintendos, but they kind of liked both, if I'm honest. Now, as a whole, the Megadrive sold over 30.75 million units worldwide. And then obviously you don't count like the at-games or Tectoy ones or Majesco ones, which would add like a couple of few more million on top of that anyway. Let's get a good look at this mighty beast, what it is. It is a fantastic console. I like that. I like that a lot. This is where you'd have your Sega CD, my Sega CDs over there. There you go. Power input. And this one has high definition graphics and stereo sound. I always like the little doors on these. 16-bit. Hello. Beautiful console. I've lost the nub off my volume though, that's kind of annoying. On, off, and reset. What more could you ask for really, other than this really nice case that I own? Now, we all know this controller because we all know this is a fantastic controller and still one of my favourite controllers ever. Other than the Dreamcast one, I really like the Dreamcast one, but then again I like the Sega Saturn Model 2 controller. Those were the days when you only needed 3 buttons and a directional pad. Beautiful. My big box of massive Sega fandom. What else do I have laying around in here? Well, if we just spin it round ever so slightly, we have a section for video games to be housed. I have, obviously, Sonic the Hedgehog. We have Robocop versus the Terminator, a fantastic side-scrolling shooter. Very gory. I highly recommend it. I think you should buy that. It's fantastic. And then we have the obligatory Earthworm Jim. And we have Echo the Dolphin in here. What more could you ask for out of life? Because once you have Sega, there's no going back. Disclaimer, once you have Sega, there might be going back. But yes, do I recommend buying the Model 1 Mega Drive? I do indeed. It's fantastic. It's probably the better one because I much prefer it over the Model 2. I don't own a Model 3, however, because they were never released in England. I did own an At Games console once, but I vomited so much blood I think I destroyed it. So, in the end of this review, buy one of these. You can get a case if you want, but definitely buy one of these. Buy a load of games. Get that controller. Plug it in. And then never leave it. Never leave it alone. Take it with you everywhere. Well, I have that. Because now I can just shut this up. Clip it. And now I can take this everywhere I want to go. Bye guys. See you later. I'm going to go play some Mega Drive now. Bye. Bye. Oh yeah, remember to comment, rate, subscribe, fist bump. I'll see you all in the next video.
What could possibly go wrong?